And hello and welcome to another edition of the Baseball Talk Radio Show. I'm Gary Mack.
And Rich Baxter over here.
And hi, Rich. How are you? We took a little bit of a time off there, but lots of things going on in the world of baseball with all the award shows now. And we have the we picked the champion, and we've got new owners, and we've got maybe an answer to some of the minor league situation. Busy time.
Yeah. Even though no games being played now, and we're back to the off season, the hot stove is boiling in the background there. I had some nice oatmeal, some nice warm and hot oatmeal this morning on kind of a chilly day. Not as cold as it's going to get, of course, but a good time to warm the old stomach with some nice hot oatmeal and think about the baseball awards that they're announcing here slowly, the finalists and all. Um, yeah, it's a good time of year.
And getting to some of the awards, I noticed here in my notes that I neglected the National League Silver Sluggers. Maybe you have that in your notes, but uh, it is that silly season. It is the season of awards, and as we record this, I believe tonight is going to be the Cy Young Awards. But we've had the managers of the year and the rookie of the year and the Silver Sluggers picked for 2020. And if you don't mind, I'll start us off with the American League Silver Sluggers. We
Absolutely.
have catcher Salvador Perez.
Mm-hmm.
The first baseman is Jose Abreu. Second baseman DJ Lemieux. Third base Jose Ramirez. Shortstop Tim Anderson. The outfield, of course, Mike Trout, T-Scar Hernandez, and Elroy Jimenez. And I've got to admit, I don't know half of these guys. I am not an American League guy, and I don't follow it that much. I try to, but that's the American League. And in the National League, as if you're watching the video, Rich is lining that up. Freddie Freeman is your first baseman in the National League.
Yep.
And let's see, no surprise there. Second base is Donovan
Donovan Solano.
Solano of the Giants.
Not familiar with him.
Yeah. And shortstop or third base. Shortstop is Fernando Tatis Jr. Not a big surprise there, Rich, I would say.
Yeah, the Padres, 21-year-old superstar
Mhm.
already. Geez, you're a superstar at 21?
The National League third baseman is another Padre, Rich, Manny Machado, who went over on a big contract. And like that, the third base could have been Arenado, could have been in there as well. Short season. I don't know how much of these um awards really mean as much as if they did in a full season, but nonetheless, they're doing it. So, third base is Manny Machado.
Yeah, and he finally earned some of that 300 plus million.
Yeah,
As
that's
we
true.
remember, he was in contest with top contract of the year just 2 years ago with Bryce Harper. Now
Mm-hmm.
he is a four-time All-Star, two-time Gold Glove winner, and he's added a Silver Slugger.
Right. And the catcher is Travis Darno, which is a heartbreaker, former Met. Couldn't stay healthy with the Mets. Went to Tampa Bay, had a good season, signed the contract with the Atlanta Braves, had a great season with Atlanta, and coming into his own at the ripe old age of 31. So, um, good for him. He just couldn't stay healthy here, and I think part of it was the pressure of being the number one catcher, and Uh, they played a couple of catches in Atlanta, though I think he caught most of the games in the end anyway.
Hmm.
But I think it's what the Mets should have done. And they had a pretty good backup when he was here, and everybody said they should have, maybe used both of them like every other day, and it might have worked out better. But it didn't. They let him go. He had a low contract, but for the Mets, any contract was high at a certain point, and they let him go. And look, good on him that he stuck with it and is having a good career. Was able to resurrect the career. So congratulations to him. And who do we have in the outfield for the National League there, Rich?
Let's see. In the outfield, of course, as you mentioned, the AL winners, Mike Trout with his eighth award there. He's collecting awards like crazy all of a sudden. And just a quick personal note, I made a sale. I'm in the sales world. I made a sale to a lady that her brother is actually Mike Trout's off-season conditioning coach, so his personal
Uh,
trainer, which was a thrill to talk about that a little bit. And because I've observed his personal trainings online and pulling around big tractor tires and things like that. um, quite an off-season regiment he runs. But over in the NL, it's Juan Soto with the Nationals out in the outfield. Mookie Betts, of course, with the Dodgers, and Ronald Acuna Jr. with the Braves collect
okay.
those Silver Sluggers.
Well, all deserving candidates, I would say, in the outfield. I don't see anything that I would say, how did that guy get it? So, uh, congratulations to all of them, and congratulations to Brewers right-hander reliever Devin Williams and Seattle Mariners center fielder Kyle Lewis, who have won the 2020 Jackie Robinson National League and American League Rookie of the Year awards. Uh, they were announced on Monday, and congratulations to them.
Yes, absolutely. Some Managers of the Year awards were announced on Tuesday this past week. Don Mattingly won in the NL. We've been looking at his name for a while
Mm-hmm.
there. And Kevin Cash winning over there in the American League. So pretty cool that both of those guys picked up an award, and both Florida type natives.
Yeah, and the Marlins, of course, made the playoffs for the first time in a long time, and actually got through a round. And Mattingly finished with 20 of 30 first place votes and 8 second place votes. He was left off 2 ballots. He finished with 124 total points, well ahead of the Padres' Jace Tingler. Kevin Cash, he received 22 first place votes, 5 second place, and 1 third place vote to finish with a total of 126 points. He was left off of 2 ballots. Rick Renteria, who has been dismissed by the White Sox, finishes in second place with 61 points. Charlie Montoyo of the Blue Jays finishes in third place with 47 votes. So we have a couple of things left to check on. Most valuable player needs to be settled. I think
Yeah,
probably in the National
actually,
League.
yeah, finalists here: Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, and Manny Machado.
And I think I would have to go with Mookie Betts. I think this, the big contract. This is quite a year for Mookie Betts getting traded to the Dodgers. Big contract he got, and now world championship. And I think he'll finish it off with a most valuable player award. Um, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I didn't follow Mookie Betts too much in Boston, and I certainly didn't follow him this year with the Dodgers at all with the COVID season. But yeah, he seems like he was solid. Finished fourth in MVP voting earlier in his career. Seems like he's coming into his own. Of course, Freddie Freeman's been a solid performer for the Braves for years. Had another great year last year. Um, Maybe not enough to make this award. Manny Machado, he's been um, with the Orioles for a few years, and now he's, of course, out in San Diego. He did well this past year. So any one of these three guys would be a good pick, in my opinion. But the Dodgers winning it all, I think you're going to see Mookie Betts be your most valuable player.
Yeah, and I think he's been the guy all year that people have been talking about Mookie Betts, Mookie Betts, Mookie Betts. So, uh, you know, I I think he's kind of a shoe in for that. In the American League, we had Jose Abreu. And who was the other guys now? DJ LeMahieu from the Yankees
Mm-hmm.
and Jose Ramirez of the Cleveland Indians. And I got to tell you, I don't really have a feel for any of those guys at all. I would say, from what I've read, it's could be LeMahieu, who was definitely kept that Yankee team together. And it doesn't look like they're going to re-sign him because he's a free agent, and they
Yeah.
want to cut payroll a little bit. So we don't know what's going to happen there. But I'm going to go with DJ LeMahieu on that one.
Yeah, I think I'll throw my hat in the ring for Jose Abreu this this
Why
time
not?
around.
Right? Why
Why
not?
why not? He was 14 AL. Throw my hat in. What the heck?
Yeah, the
Uh,
heck with it.
14 AL Rookie of the Year, looking to add this MVP award, and I kind of think it's going to go his way this year for some odd reason. Like you said, Mookie Betts has this charisma. You've heard his name a ton of times. You've also heard Jose Abreu's name if you've been listening to baseball and watching what's been going on
Right.
in the last year. I hear this name every time I turn around, and I'll be honest with you, I don't watch the American League all that much. I don't think I've ever seen Jose Abreu play, which is bad for somebody that's talking about baseball. But maybe in 21, I'll make a point to make sure I watch a couple of those games.
Yeah, I've watched a few. You know, I can't say I'm an avid American League. I just find the games to be very boring with the DH and everything. So I don't watch them all, but I've seen a few. I've seen Abreu play. He's a good player. Uh, I'm going to go with LeMayu because he was in the National League. Saw him over there. And, I think he's probably I know there's a lot. He gets a lot of press in New York about how good he was and how he held the team together. So I'll go with him. And by the way, this just according to sources, he will not accept DJ LeMahieu will not accept the Yankees qualifying offer. So
Right.
today is the deadline for free agents. If you were offered a qualifying offer, um, today's the day you have to decide. And my dog is barking in the background. I don't know if you can hear him. Uh, and Marcus Stroman has accepted the qualifying offer from the Mets. I'm not real pleased about that, but what are you going to do?
Very cool.
So we have Cy Young too coming up today,
We
and
do.
in the American League, the finalists are Shane Bieber, Kent
Justin's brother.
you just his brother, Kent Maierda and Hoon Jin Roo, who was with the Dodgers last year,
Yeah,
went to Toronto, signed a contract there. And in the National League, we've got Trevor Bauer, Yu Darvish, and of course Jacob DeGrom of the New York Mets. American League first. I'm gonna go with Shane Bieber. He's got all the numbers. I think
another
he'll be the winner there.
another guy you heard quite a bit about.
Uh huh.
His name being
Right.
offered around. And how about the National League?
Well, this is a tough one because um I want to pick DeGrom. It would be it'd be the third year in a row for DeGrom. But he didn't have that good a season. He had a great season. The team didn't support him, and so his win total is down. He has the lowest ERA, I believe, of all of the starters, all of the finalists. There was a report that I was reading that he faced the toughest lineups in out of all of the finalists. The other two guys faced a lot of low offensive producing teams. I think I don't know if I've got it right, but he, in other words, his competition was tougher that he faced. Uh,
Yeah, that
you
sounds
know,
about right.
and he has the lowest ERA, even though he didn't have the wins. So I mean, I think Bauer probably is going to get it. I would like to see Degrom. I'd love to see him get 3 years in a row. But to be fair, you know, he did not have the wins and losses and you know, just I'm not sure, but I think it's going to go to though people are picking Darvish. I don't know. I'm not a big Darvish fan.
Mm.
So I'm going to pick Bauer, but I'd like to see DeGrom win it.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting pick. And as you said, all three had their own good portions of the season. And what an honor it is if DeGrom gets it three in a row. Wow, that's dominating.
Yeah, and he has been, I think, dominating the last 3 years, and really was not a high on their list of being high prospects, and here he came in and is probably. I don't think it's a stretch to say right now he is the best pitcher in baseball, if not one of the best. Definitely one of the best pitchers in baseball. Maybe even the best at this time.
Yeah, I don't think it's a stretch at all. Like you said, he's got the talent and the low ERA, almost like a throwback type of pitcher in a way. Um, yeah, he would get my vote.
And he can hit 98. I mean, but he's not a total fastball pitcher. You know, he's a pitcher. He knows how to pitch, which is something you don't see a lot nowadays. That a lot of these guys, they just rear back and fire, and that's why they pitch 5 innings and then they pooped and they can't go on anymore. He's more of a pitcher. He can figure out things in mid game, that what's working, what's not working, and that's what I like about him. He's intelligent and a good pitcher, and not a thrower. So, I wish there was some other guys on the Mets staff that I wish would take a look at what Jacob Degrom does, and they'd probably be better off for it. But that's for Mets musings.
Right, right. Of course, your other podcast that we should let people know. We assume everybody knows that Gary has his own podcast called Mets Musings, which is a great show. I have Fightin' Philly. So, yeah, we should remind ourselves to let our listeners know here on Baseball Talk Radio Show that we do have these individual shows. We've been doing them for years, as we have been together for years on this show, the Baseball Talk
Hmm.
Radio Show, doing it for a few years. So, yeah, do tune in to those individual podcasts, as Gary said, and check out baseballtalkradio.com. It's the home of great baseball talk shows, independent and otherwise. I have a great list there going. There's usually a live stream, although that's been suspended with the COVID. There was a lot of people tuning in, but a lot of the content wasn't getting produced and things like that. So I have something coming up for 21 on that website over at baseballtalkradio.com. And tune into our home on the web for the show here that you're listening to, Baseball Talk Radio Show. You can find us over at anchor.fm/baseball talk radio show. And if you go there, you'll see this what I wanted to show you initially here. Um, there's a support tab in the center here. Message if you want to send us a message. You want to listen to us on Spotify or anywhere else we are found. You can find it there as well. And a list of all of our shows here on anchor.fm/baseball talk radio show. It's where you can find us on the web.
And you can also find the video version. Yes, there's a video version, and you can find that on YouTube. So go check that out as well. Rich is looking now. I think
Yes, I am. I got it.
Rich is the screen sharer on the show.
Yes, I'm trying my best to do that. And we thank all of our listeners. As Gary said, we're a podcast first. Um, we are mainly a podcast, that is, but we have this video show, and we're so proud. We got almost 40 views on our last show, which Gary did a great job on the production of our Halloween special. And again, we're not really a video show as much as we're a podcast. So we appreciate your tuning in there over to YouTube. Hit the subscribe button for us right up here in the right-hand corner. And what you're going to do for that is when we get a new show, you're going to get a little notification that, hey, these guys got a new something video for you to check out.
Yeah, and that helps us grow the show and attract new listeners. So I hope you'll check that out and look into that today. And Rich, we've talked about minor leagues a lot on this show as well, and I think that's a good thing because that's really the backbone of the whole system. And as Manfred wants to centralize power, or however you want to call it,
accumulate power.
They want to shrink the minor leagues, and they're going to do it. The contract was over with MILB. They folded up, and we're starting to leaks are coming out now about certain standards that they're going to want the minor league teams to come up with in order to stay as a minor league team. Some of them are, larger clubhouses, brighter stadium lights, covered batting and pitching tunnels, and other details that will take minor league facilities into the 2020s and beyond. We've heard about some teams that have been tossed out by now. I can talk from the Mets' point of view. Columbia, South Carolina is no longer an affiliate of the Mets. It was a low A affiliate. The Mets will retain 4 teams. The Syracuse Mets, which will be AAA, And it looks like the Binghamton Rough Riders will remain as their double A team. The Brooklyn Cyclones will become their high A team, and the St. Lucie Mets will be their low A team, and there'll be an intro league in Gulfport, Mississippi, I think it is. Uh, and some of the teams are not happy. The Hudson Valley Renegades have been made a high A team. Now, Hudson Valley and Brooklyn, I might explain, was formerly in the New York Penn League, which has been totally dissolved. One of the oldest minor leagues in the history of baseball, and they're finished now. Their history is ended. They will be dissolved. Some of the teams are going in a direction of either an independent league or going in the direction of a wooden bat collegiate league. A couple of them got picked up, as I said. The Hudson Valley Renegades got picked up by the Yankees, and the interestingly enough, Rich, with the Yankees, they picked up the Somerset Patriots, which was a very successful Atlantic League team. The Atlantic League is an independent league that operates on the East Coast and in Texas. Um, and they picked up the Somerset Patriots, so they'll be down a team in the Atlantic League this year. But interesting that they went to independent league and got that franchise as an affiliate, and in doing so, they dumped a longtime Trenton Thunder team, and they were not happy because they heard about it through an email and through the social media, I think first, and then they got an email from the Yankees. So a lot of teams not happening. Staten Island Yankees, that were a New York Penn League team and a rival of the Brooklyn Cyclones, they are now gone completely. People are up in arms around here, Rich. I don't know if anything's leaked in your neck of the woods yet about teams. But you may be able to talk about Trenton a little bit there, and it's not a good situation.
Yeah, a lot of the Trenton folks were understandably upset. They had been host to the Yankees, as you said, for a number of years. Change is going to come, I guess, is the only way you can explain it. Um, just when you start to get comfortable with things, they pull the rug out from under you, so to speak. And I don't know how that's furthering the interest of baseball, other than perhaps MLB wants to control these entities more, is my only guess to a certain extent. As you said, they want to improve what's offered with the minor leagues. Some of these minor leagues, we're getting off onto a tangent, I guess you could say, which is an easiest with promotions and things, obviously wanting to attract fans and, doing outlandish type promotions to do so. But in the end, I guess it's just MLB wanting to tighten its rein over uh, the stage to the stage, so to speak. Some of these teams maybe not needed in their opinion, especially with the COVID-19 uh, hitting their bottom line pretty strong, and the threat of next year they don't even know. So billions of dollars were lost last year, even though they did launch a season and accomplish that. We have a World Series winner, but the state of baseball maybe not as solid and golden in stature as we think it is. There's always constantly expensive. There's been a lot of layoffs in baseball, like broadcast, um, obviously stadium personnel and all that throughout the year. So that's not a good thing right now. So maybe when things return back to normal, if they do, and when they do, maybe baseball will start to blossom again, and some more of these teams will find a avenue to get back to the game. But It's just one of these signs of the times where MLB is condensing things. They want to control it more. They want more say over things. And sadly, but true, some of these teams are being phased out. Some of the leagues, like you said, the New York Penn League, you just go in, wipe out. People enjoyed baseball. They didn't necessarily want to go to a major league stadium, but they liked sitting in these smaller stadiums, watching the teams and the games the way they were produced. And unfortunately, now they'll be looking for a new tenant in some of these stadiums.
And it's it's kind of a shame in a way because some of these teams were pretty look, some of them were not, how we say, successful. Batavia, New York, which was the home of the New York Penn League in the beginning, it's where it was founded. Batavia Muck Dogs, I think they were drawing like 1,000 people a season. So, they were not, they were hurting to begin with. But you had other teams. You had a team like the Lowell Spinners, which was very successful on and off the field. And I don't know what their current situation is. Um, the West Virginia Black Bears moved from I think it was it New Hampshire, and went built a whole new facility in West Virginia. Now they did it in with West Virginia University, so the university will use the field and everything, but whether they'll have any kind of an affiliation, or if they'll join some sort of other collegiate wooden bat league or something along that lines, remains to be seen. But it's just, as you said, it's just a shame because of these areas in the country where these teams were located. You would think you would want to keep a team there to grow the sport of baseball, and I don't know. I think it comes down to money as always, and money rules everything.
Yeah, and a lot of the players that played in the lower, real low leagues, the rookie leagues, New York Penn League, as you said, you know, teams couldn't afford to pay them a lot of money, nor really why would they? I mean, they're playing a game, they're not on the big stage yet. It would be like having hockey leagues supporting the NHL and, looking for a 50 to $100,000 a year salary for each of these players, and the money was not there. So we've seen stories in the news where a lot of the lower league players had to work jobs, and yeah, you're not at the point where you're drafted into the MLB. You're going to have to work different jobs in addition to playing baseball. So it's part of that dream to get to the big stage. But the MLB said they want to condense things, maybe make it better for a group of the better players to continue on. It's going to be up to other baseball entities to grow and maybe pick up on their own. I mean, my own personal story in outside of Atlantic City, they had a team, and a lot of people at first went. It was a novelty at first, but then after a while, it settled in and it became something that nobody went to. I went to a couple games, and the quality of like the umps and things like that just weren't there.
Hmm.
I mean, one of my lasting memories of being to a couple games is a guy sliding in the third, and the ump still was in his stance, and he just didn't make a call. It was just, the guy had slid the tag, and he was still standing there, and everybody was like, was he safe or out? But things like that. So maybe by condensing uh, some of these teams, that'll happen, and the support just is not there by the MLB.
You just have to wonder, by cutting back on these teams, whether or not players are going to be overlooked
True.
a guy that may not have been a great college player, but somehow blooms when he gets to into the minors and stuff. Will he have a chance? The famous story, of course, Mike Piazza was drafted what 300th or something like
Yeah.
that. If we
Yeah.
cut the draft, what's going to happen to these guys? They'll go to independent leagues and stuff. Maybe they'll be able to make it that way. But I just wonder if you're going to miss that nugget that's
Yeah.
way down buried there that may not get a chance and might walk away from the game because he's not making enough money.
And there's probably a lot of those nuggets around in all sports, basketball, hockey.
Mm-hmm.
They're not in these leagues, or they didn't make the cut. The certain team didn't see them, or what have you. But unfortunately, for now, until they change their mind on this and some other league decides to flourish, MLB's pulling the rug out from under them. So something we'll have to just learn to live with for now. But Gary, I know you have a new owner in the New York area. We were talking about him
Yes.
for the Mets. I stumbled upon a cool story here on Reddit. I don't know if you use the service Reddit. Put it up on
I
the
look
screen.
once in a while. Yeah.
Um, Jeff Passan from ESPN posted a story, something about New York Mets owner Steve Cohen on just how hands on he'll be with baseball operations. Quote, I played Little League once. That's about it. I'm going to let the professionals, Sandy and people we bring in, let them run baseball. Can you believe that? A guy that just played my, Little League ball once now owns the Mets.
Well, he's a big Met fan. Uh, and his wife, interestingly enough, is also a big Met fan. So it's going to be a dynamic combination there. And she's going to head up like a foundation like a Mets foundation to work with the neighborhoods and New York City and all. And he, of course, is a hedge fund guy, very very wealthy, complete opposite for the Mets. We used to pinch at pennies. He is a billionaire, and hopefully, he's going to save this franchise. And I think some fans are expecting him to go out and spend like as he said, a drunken sailor, but he's not going to do this. And I think yesterday at a press conference, and the guy seems confident, and he's yet smart. He says he's not in this to make money. He's got a regular day job. He runs a company. He owns a company, a hedge fund company. So this is not a hobby, but it's not his full time employment as well. I think he'll do well. He wants to run. He runs a very professional organization now. I think that's what he wants to get this to. He hired Sandy Alderson. I don't know if anybody listens to Mets musings. I was very tough on Sandy Alderson the last couple of years he was here, but he appears to be a completely different guy. He looked healthy. He looked more relaxed. He is, he's a good baseball guy to have around, and he's going to bring people in, professional level people. They already cleaned some people out, and he's going to bring in some professional level people that are actually going to run the baseball thing. And with Sandy would probably oversee it. And I I think it's going to take a few years, but as I said somewhere yesterday, I was on another show last night, and I said I think this happened at the perfect time. The previous general manager made some deals that were, quite frankly, awful, uh, and traded away a number of number one picks in very bad trades, and left us with a big contract for a 37-year-old, second baseman who had a pretty good year this year, but we've had a short year, over a course of 160 game. I don't know if Robinson can know what he's got left, but over a 60 game season, he had a good year. Okay. We're stuck with that contract. When I said this happened at a perfect time, it was because the damage was only done for 2 years, and we've lost like four or five number one, number two picks.
Mm-hmm.
And now the farm system is bare. But we've got a guy that came in that now a new owner that's got the money to kind of build the farm system, and yet he can he's got enough money where he can spend it if he wishes to sort of layer over, if you will, the bumps in the road or potholes that the former general manager created. He's got enough money to fill those potholes and to get us to when the farm system starts developing more.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Whereas some teams may struggle for years after making disastrous trades like that was made. But I think like I said, he's not going to spend money wildly, but he is going to spend it wisely, and he's got enough. I wish I remember the quote, but Sandy Alderson said something to the effect that it's finally nice where the he can make an acquisition and not worry about the money part of it.
Just not too many like Cespedes or.
Yeah, yeah, but when he made the original Cespedes deal, that's really what sparked the Mets going to the World Series. I mean, he was phenomenal, and you had to sign him after that. I mean, it all made sense. I think it was probably too big a deal, and but yeah, it made sense at the time, and they did it. But the deal that really hurt them the last few years was this Robinson Cano Edwin Diaz deal. That was it's just not. It was just stupid. And
Yeah.
when he made deals like that one after the other. I mean, I'm not crazy about this Marcus Stroman deal. I don't think Marcus Stroman's worth $18 million, and from his point of view, I think he was smart to take it because he's not going to get that on the free agent market. He sat out this year because of COVID, but he waited until he had. This was the sleazy part about it, but I guess look, teams do it by holding guys back. So he did it. He waited till he had an injury coming out of the training camp, the summer camp. Then he waited, I believe, until he had enough. He accumulated enough time to become a free agent, and then he opted out of the season with the COVID excuse. So it left a bad taste with a lot of people, and
Yep.
and he's on Twitter a lot. He's got a he's entitled to his opinion, but I guess I'm old school that way. But whether or not why they made him the qualifying offer, I don't know. But it does fill a block in the pitching rotation that they were concerned about, and it means that they can do more for other positions, like catcher. Maybe they're going to get JT Realmuto, your
They
guy.
might. They might. I mean, they'd be fools not to try. Uh, well, before we bring the curtain down on this edition of the podcast, just thought I'd roll through some of our numbers for you. We appreciate you hitting that subscribe button on your podcast listening area, whether it be Google Podcasts or Apple Podcasts, or whatever service you use. Please hit that subscribe button. iHeartRadio, maybe. We have 74% listeners from Apple Podcasts. And second is Anchor with the direct 4%. And then we have Overcast, Amazon Alexa, and other portions, 17%. So we got a big listening fan base with the other group. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. 89% of our listeners come from the States. We have 5% over in jolly old England.
Oh, we're big there.
We'll have a beer with the mates over there someday. And Ireland, 1%, Canada, 1%. So thank you for listening out there. Male, 88%, female, 12. Hello, ladies. And we have a good broad listening base throughout the Spotify gives us age statistics. So we got a good representation there. So,
Grazie. We got somebody in Italy, huh? Less than 1%.
yeah,
Grazie.
grazie. Thank you very much. And again, thanks for listening to this podcast. Hit like and subscribe. Consider to sponsor us. We'd be more than happy to have you on a sponsor. Go right through our page there. If you want to send us an email, it's Gary@baseballtalkradio.com or Rich@baseballtalkradio.com, and we'll be glad to get your message out on the air. And we want to wave a hand to Jack. And you know who you are, Jack. You sent us an email a couple days ago.
Yeah. Hi, Jack. Nice to hear from you again, and hope all is well with you. And Rich, we should talk a little bit about Patreon. If people want to help out the show, they can go to our Patreon page, patreon.com/baseball talk. You want to show your, there you go.
Patreon.
And as Rich showed you, earlier, the Anchor page, you can go anchor.com/baseball talk radio show. And you can also support the show right from that site. So number of ways to help us out. And we're not getting rich. We're not making anything, really.
This is a labor of love, folks.
Yeah, we just like doing it. So if you'd like to help us out, we can, I don't know, if you want to donate clothes, we don't really care.
Wow. In our honor, not to us.
No, we're not too cool. Like, we're not quite that bad yet. You know what?
Right.
Send toilet paper. That's the new currency.
And hand wipes.
Well, Rich, another one in the book. So we'll probably talk to the people in a couple of weeks, right?
Yeah,
maybe
we'll
2
do a
weeks.
pre-Thanksgiving Black Friday show right around that time. Couple weeks, we'll have some more results for you from the BBWAA, Baseball Writers of America sanctioned voting. We're going to talk a little bit about Baseball Digest has their own awards. I didn't get to that on this show, but we'll talk a little bit about those as well. And Gary, it's been fun again, and I can't wait to the next one.
Yeah, me neither. So till the next time, keep swinging, and we'll see you on another next edition of the Baseball Talk Radio Show.